In this video, we're going to be talking about the order of operations. So when we talk about the order of operations, we often call it PEMDAS. So remember, the order of operations is actually the order that we're going to do the math problems. You should have your notes page with you. And first things first, let's talk through what is PEMDAS. I laid it out for you just like this. Let's walk through it. The P stands for parentheses. So PARENTHESIS. We've got parentheses first. So whenever you're solving an order of operations problem, you're always going to solve the parentheses first. After that, we've got exponents. Exponents next. So let's remember that an exponent is like 10 to the third. So parentheses are like 2 plus 1 are in those parentheses. Exponents next at 10 to the third. That third power is an exponent, just like these are parentheses. Next, we've got multiplication. Multiplication and division. Now, these are really important because these are in the same step. So this is going to be a first come, first serve. So for example, let's say we've got 4 divided by 2 times 3. Even though the M comes first in PEMDAS, they're in the same step. You're going to do them at the same time. So first come, first serve from left to right. So you read this as 4 divided by 2 times 3. Even though multiplication comes first in PEMDAS, since multiplication and division are in the same step, you would do your division first. You would say 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. So even though multiplication says it comes first, you do them first come, first serve. Your addition and subtraction are exactly the same. We've got addition is the A, and subtraction. They are also in the same step, first come, first serve. So let's say we've got 10 minus 7 plus 3. You're going to do your 10 minus 7 first, even though the addition comes first in PEMDAS, because addition and subtraction are in the same step, just like multiplication and division are in the same step. All right, let's dive into some practice problems. 10 minus 2 times 3. So let's go back and think about our PEMDAS. Parentheses first. I don't see any parentheses. Exponents next. I don't see any exponents. Multiplication and division in the same step. Perfect. So let's do some multiplication and division. So looking from left to right, I see 10 minus 2 times 3. So first step is going to be that 2 times 3 is 6. Then I'm going to bring everything else down. So I use that 2 times 3, and I got 6. So I'm not going to bring those down. Those are already used. I'm going to bring down the subtraction sign and the 10. Now all we've got left is a subtraction problem. So 10 minus 6, I know, is 4, and 4 is my correct answer. Let's do another one. 6 plus 4 divided by 5. So remember, parentheses first. So here we have an example of those parentheses. So let's go ahead. We're going to say 6 plus 4. Let's solve it. 6 plus 4 is 10. Now, usually you would bring down your parentheses, but that would leave 10 by itself in its parentheses. So I'm not so worried about that. And let's bring down the divided by 5. Now there's only a division problem. 10 divided by 5 is 2. 10 divided by 5 is 2. These have been some pretty easy, simple one-step problem or two-step problems. Now let's look at this one. 3 plus 6 divided by 2. Now I know a lot of you are jumping right in and saying 3 plus 6 is 9, 9 divided by 2 is 4.5. But does that follow the order of operations? No, it does not. Parentheses first, there's no parentheses. Exponents next, no parentheses. Multiplication and division in the same step. We've got to divide before we can add. Even though that addition looks like it comes first, if we follow the order of operations, we've got to divide first. So let's go ahead and say 6 divided by 2 is 3. Bring everything else down. Now we can add 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 is my answer. Let's look at another one. Ooh, now we've got a challenging one for this one. First things first, I want you to tell me what the first step is going to be. All right, so you should have said parentheses first. Always, we're going to do our parentheses first. So let's go ahead. I'm going to underline my parentheses. 3 plus 4 is 7. And I'm going to bring everything else down. So I'm going to bring my 2 times down. Bring my parentheses down. Minus 6 times 2. All right. Now I want you to tell me, what's my next step going to be? You should have said 2 times 7 because we went through our song. We already did the parentheses. There's no exponent. So we've got multiplication and division in the same step. First come, first serve. So first is this multiplication problem right here. 2 times 7, bring that down, is 14. Bring everything else down, minus 6 times 2. Now what's my next step going to be? You should have said 6 times 2 because even though it says 14 minus 6 times 2, you have to remember that multiplication and division come before addition and subtraction. So we've got 6 times 2 is 12. Bring everything else down. Finally, we are at your last step. So we know that 14 minus 12 is 2. 2 is your correct answer. If you have any questions about PEMDAS, make sure you ask your teacher and make sure you have these notes copied beautifully.